on and off is actually clear down here at the very bottom of the hydrant. There's a stem that goes from that valve up to the operating nut here, and when you operate this hydrant, it opens the valve down there. When you close the hydrant and this valve shuts the water off, there's two holes right here in the bottom that are called drain holes, and the water that's left standing in this hydrant will drain out of these holes into the ground, and that's why it's called a dry barrel hydrant. Now where the upper and the lower half meet here, we have what we call a traffic flange. This is designed so that if a car hits this hydrant, it will break off right here, and the valve will remain closed, so there's no water loss. And if everything works the way it's supposed to, that's how it happens. There are a lot of older fire hydrants in town that weren't made with the traffic break-off kit. So quite often when an old one gets hit, it does break below ground, and then we do have water leaking, but it never shoots up in the air like a geyser like you see on TV. It's not anything like that. You notice on the hydrant we have 3 nozzles. Our code requires that any new hydrants put in have to have 2 2.5-inch nozzles and 1 steamer nozzle. And the steamer nozzle here is the one that the fire department pumper truck will hook up to, and they will draw the water out of the hydrant, and then the pump mounted on the fire department's truck is what actually supplies the pressure for the fire hoses that are fighting the fire. There are still some older hydrants in town that don't have steamer nozzles on them, but all the new ones do. You might notice that all the hydrants around town are painted yellow, and a lot of them have the tops and the caps painted various colors. This is a color code that the fire department uses to tell them how many gallons per minute a fire hydrant puts out. When they pull up to a fire hydrant, they can tell by the color code on the cap how much water they're going to get out of it. And that's very helpful to them.
Are you guys responsible for testing all the fire hydrants throughout the city, or is that?
Yeah, we do flow tests on the fire hydrants. We're responsible for doing the maintenance on them and any repairs that are needed. We have some flow gauges we use. We go out and we will flow a hydrant to determine how many gallons a minute it puts out, and then we pass that information on to the fire department, and then we paint the caps with the color code. We flush our hydrants every year to make sure they work and to find out what kind of maintenance they need.
What are the general types of maintenance that they would need, if any at all?
Well, probably the most common problem with fire hydrants is sometimes we have to put new nozzles in them. These nozzles are made out of brass, and anytime you attach a fire hose to them, they wear. And because and especially even the caps are made out of cast iron. When you screw the caps back on, the cast iron wears against the brass, causes it to wear out eventually. We put new caps on them, new nozzles. If we develop a leak in the bonnet, we can put new O-rings in it. We have to, of course, repair them when if they get hit by a vehicle. We have traffic repair kits here in the warehouse that we can take out, and it comes with a new set of bolts and a new break-off flange and a new gasket, and then the stem that goes down to the valve has a coupler right here that's designed to break also, and we can replace that. We also have extension kits where we can raise or lower the upper part of the hydrant, depending on the landscaping in the particular area where the hydrant is. We carry a full line of repair parts. We have several different brands of hydrants in Salina, and so we carry quite an inventory of repair parts to do maintenance on them. This hydrant here is the standard size required by our code. It's has a 5 1/4 inch opening, and as I said before, it has two 2.5 nozzles and a steamer nozzle, and that's what our code calls for. I've got this hydrant open right now. The gate is down in here where the water is sealed off. If I operate it, you can see that that gate will lift up in the shoe of the hydrant there.
Usually the fire department that comes out and does it. The city doesn't have to go out for to respond to any.
No, we don't respond to any fires or anything like that unless there are situations where the fire department responds to a fire and they have a problem with a fire hydrant. Maybe they can't shut it down or it has a bad nozzle, and they will call us, and one of us will have to come out and do a repair on the hydrant.
Jim, your goal is to replace how many fire hydrants a year?
Well, we're trying to replace between 10 and 20 old fire hydrants every year. Along with that, we have with new construction, we have a lot of new hydrants going in. We've had 46 new hydrants so far this year installed by contractors in new subdivisions. My crew's replaced 10 old fire hydrants so far, and we have several more on our list that we're getting ready to do. Eventually, we'll have all the older fire hydrants changed out. That's our goal.
Do you have a number how many you've had full maintenance on, roughly?
Yeah, I'd say we've probably done maintenance on about 30 fire hydrants so far this year, which, like I said, generally involves problems with the nozzles or the operating nut itself or the seals in the top of the hydrant. Sometimes these drain holes down here can get plugged up and the hydrant won't drain. In that case, we have to dig up around it and open the drain holes up. But that's not that common of a problem.
Jim, would you talk about your valve number, your 4,000 plus valves, and how you exercise those to ensure that